Hello and welcome to my channel. Since this is my first video, I am here to introduce myself and kind of explain more or less what this channel is about, what I'm all about in kind of seeking this resource of YouTube to present some messages and to connect and share and really work on elements associated with life. The Pip Pop Life, I'm calling it in one way. Also just talking about being here in the moment. The power and presence, along with the purpose of pain. Kind of working on those elements for myself in my life, coming to terms with it in many regards as I continue to grow, evolve, change, but also connect with you in your journeys so we can share and interact in our experiences. Learn to live better, live more proficiently, live with a deeper sense of purpose, a greater meaning around what we do on a day-to-day basis. So, in putting this channel together, kind of working on it, concepts for maybe since my first memory, I suppose, which I'll talk about in another video. But really culminating in this experience of being with you together so we can join our forces, join our experiences, and learn together. Learn how to really make meaning of ourselves and what we're here for. I've often found myself kind of caught up in cycles or patterns of life, wondering, is this what it's all about? Questioning that, something I've always kind of been drawn to in learning about myself and learning about the world and trying to expand my horizons, yet also kind of getting caught up at times with more or less the grind of life, the day-to-day monotony of just getting through. But having some breakthroughs in recent years, through the work I do as a professional, through the work I've done on myself, but really also in building the connections with others on all different levels, both, yes, in my profession, but also on a just regular basis wherever I am, and looking and seeking out more and more of that connection, of that interchange of what we can share together to really elevate ourselves, all of us. And in doing that, I really want to, present elements of my own experience that have been both incredibly marvelous in serving a purpose of growth, and serving a purpose of awareness, of conscientiousness, but also of serving of others, being of service with others, to others, which has really been a driving force of mine throughout, pretty much since I went off to college and pursued a degree in psychology. Very broad degree at that, but knowing maybe with that very broad degree, not sure what I do with it, but eventually looking at just being with others, helping others, but in that also learning how to help myself, how to be present to myself no matter the situation, no matter the circumstances. Hence the Pip Pop Life, with Pip being the power in presence, and really delving into what presence is about, but drawing from our own individual powers as individuals, as human beings. And with that being said, really as soulful essence, what we really deeply are and I believe have always been and will always be. But how do we bring that into the current life we have? The current parts of us as a human being, being human, with a sense of, hey, yeah, human being being human, yet working more and more to be a human being, and peeling away the layers of what we get drawn into as a human, and looking back while drawing from our histories, our pasts, our roots, and utilizing those to further grow and change and expand and really just be that essence. What I like to say, exist as soulful essence. Ease. Not so easy when we are in our human bodies, when we are attached to so many external factors that determine what we are, who we are, what's our day-to-day objective, what's our regular cycles of just life, year after year, day after day, minute after minute. And then before we know it, we move on from this life to where, well, a lot of people have their thoughts about that, their beliefs about that. I certainly do as well, which will come through as I express more and more of who I am, what I believe, and who, from whom I've also drawn information, from whom I've drawn my knowledge and awareness to continue to try to be more for myself, more for others. And those others being my family, my friends, my colleagues and neighbors, my clients, but really more for everyone and anyone. With an objective I've set out for a long time, I've kind of come up with this, I don't know at what point, but I just said I'd love to be able to just sit with anyone, anywhere, at any time, and talk about anything. And just be present with them while I'm also just really fully embracing where I'm at in that moment. Learning to further make myself, wherever I am, that is where I am supposed to be. And doing that with others too, where we can more freely just be fully and embrace that presence, that sense of what and who we really are in any moment, any given moment. We learn things through our lives, many of which have just kind of transferred in through the thousands and thousands and thousands of years of human development, human evolution to where we are today. Well, today being April 12th, 2025. But also considering what that is about. What is this drawn out extension of just human evolution? And beyond that, what is that role we play? What is that purpose of we're given life, I have life as this individual? Then also working through the different factors, the different influences, the different blocks, if you will, that impede that natural, essential flow of basically our souls. So I've called this more or less a psycho-spiritual collaborative. Psycho in the sense of how we think and use our minds and use our psyche to just get through life day to day, to try to make the most of it, to try to be the best for our friends, our families, and others, our world, our pets, our community, our environment. But then also pushing it to further our that sense of what we really are, to live it and be it with less apprehension and doubt, without fear driving so much, without anxiety having to culminate to such a level before we do something about it, but kind of drawing from some of that experience that is so challenging in formulating a healthy, directed, really passionate life. But with that, that's drawing from the pain. And that is the pop of the Pip Pop Life. The pop being the purpose of pain and how we can utilize that pain. How we can take it, draw from it, and utilize it in ways that can deepen our sense of self while also really help enrich our connections with others, with nature, with whatever it is outside of ourselves with which we are interacting, with which we are being and existing. To also decipher where I can find that, where you can find that and be that. Hence, here, purpose of presence, purpose of pain, power in presence. I will utilize a lot of acronyms throughout this, breaking them down with you, for you. Would love the interactive element of what we can do together, sharing some things, being vulnerable with each other, being open. I'm challenging myself to really go to another level, to really be there with others on a different, more expansive scale, to broaden my horizons with you, with our world, with the universe, as one, and really giving us a true directive, a true sense of meaning and purpose on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. Yet with each moment, learning to find ourselves in that deeper state of presence. And I often come down here because part of that is, and what I've talked about with a lot of the people with whom I interact in more or less my professional role, which I as a psychotherapist, working in that space, I am given such a great opportunity with people where they're already opening up, where they are already have made a choice to say, I'm going to face some things within myself, for myself. Even if it's supported or directed by another, you're choosing to step in. There is already that openness. The channels have been shifted away from holding back to releasing. And in that release, space can be created in which learning and growth and healing can come about. And then to be able to extend that with others. So I am here today introducing myself, introducing my channel, and seeking others who want to share in this journey together, who are looking for more, getting out of some of the traps that I have been a part of from personally, but also experienced with others. The traps of just cycling in and day out. The grind of life, if you want. But yes, part of it is that, drawing from the grind. That's what I'm saying. The purpose of pain. Pain is going to be expanded and discussed on different levels. But revealing that, acknowledging it, which also takes a certain level of humility. A term I will work with you to further understand and apply as I'm trying to do myself. Breaking down the patterns and the barriers and certain behaviors that we just get caught up in that aren't really elevating ourselves. I've been working on that. I've been coming to terms with so much in my own journey with people that are willing to share so much about themselves, to share the deep secrets, to share the pain and the hardships, but to really also seek the support and the guidance and really the love within themselves. But in doing that, like I've said, there's a level of vulnerability that does entail. And again, I'm so fortunate, so grateful for the opportunity to be in what I do for a living, where people are already coming and opening up their true selves. Sure, there's a period of building a trusting connection. There's experience through that process of how to work and how to pace ourselves in developing that relationship. But through it, we're growing together. And this is part of really what I'm doing here with others, with you. And I really look forward to experiencing however this works out, but also getting input, getting feedback, getting your participation. I will also be doing videos, mixing in maybe, not sure how I'm going to go about doing that, in Portuguese. I've been speaking Portuguese for 25 years and have learned to, get to a place with it where I would be confident also extending what I do in that language. As a husband to a Brazilian woman, I've learned to speak Portuguese decently for a gringo. So I'll be incorporating elements of that as well, where it's also about expanding further the audience, but really the connection, the interconnectedness of what we are and how we share our time together, how we exist together, but also how we support and grow and love. So that is pretty much where I wanted to get to today. My first video on my YouTube channel, Matthew Koch, Pip Pop Life. Here, power and presence. Appreciate you checking this out. Look forward to hearing from anyone who wants to be a part of this. Subscribe. There's a button here somewhere to subscribe, and follow me, because I will be posting videos. I will be interacting with anyone who wants to share more, who wants to inquire more, who wants to present anything they're working on, they're facing, so that they can support themselves while also supporting me, so I can support you, and vice versa. Because this is an interchange of goodness, but also learning to almost bring about what is so hard to share, to reveal, but also to not necessarily let go of, but to release, so it doesn't hold the power and hold up the power of us down. Because it's time, people. Gente, o tempo chegou. Embora. So thank you again for checking this out, and I look forward to further interactions. And please subscribe, follow, like. But really, this is all about love. Much love. Take care.